Rujan, briefly on Gülen.
Yeah, I think that people who are interested in Turkey, they know, they are very familiar about the Gülen movement. This is a movement, and this is a very global reality, not only Turkey's reality, but very global reality. And United States also, first of all, Fethullah Gülen is living in United States for a long time, and he declared that he would stay sometimes more. And this is not a simple religious movement. This is a very large movement, and especially in the education, in the media, and in several sectors, and very strong, and especially with this, after the AKP government, AK Party government, especially since 2007 elections, and in the bureaucracy in Turkey, people who are influenced by the ideas of Fethullah Gülen are very strong in the Turkish bureaucracy, in every part of Turkish bureaucracy, and especially in the security apparatus, first of all, police departments. And in the last, for 1 year, in Turkey, we are discussing the real forces, real influence of Gülen movement in Turkey. But for some years in Turkey, Gülen movement, let me begin. Before AK Party government, Gülen movement was the responsible of all bad things in Turkey. By this secular-minded and military-minded people were showing Gülen movement as the first enemy number one of Turkish secular system. That was not true. That was exaggerated. And after 2008 and 2009, maybe, Gülen movement became a kind of untouchable movement. And it was really difficult to discuss Gülen movement in Turkish media. But at the last year, especially after the crisis in Turkish intelligence services, president of Turkish intelligence services, a prosecutor called him for an investigation against PKK, the president of Turkish intelligence services, whom was a favorite bureaucrat of the prime minister and the president. So it was understood as a challenge to the government. And since then, we are discussing Gülen movement much more openly. And it is good of discussion. I think that the first main question of this movement, Gülen movement, is the transparency. I don't think that, personally, I don't think that this movement is transparent enough for Turkish democracy. And when we ask, or other people ask to be more transparent, they are saying that they are sufficiently transparent, but I don't think so. I think that the central question for the Gülen movement is the transparency. And if the movement would be sufficiently transparent for an advanced democracy of Turkey, I think that we would have less problem.
Thank you very much. So the gentleman over here, please, and then the gentleman up to my left.
Mike Dante from George Mason University, and I was wondering if I could ask the moderator to select who would be most appropriate to answer the question. But my question is, I understand that everybody wants changes, but what I don't understand is, what is the procedure, the mechanism, the actual practical way that changes can be legally made in Turkey? I'm coming from a tradition, where we learn civics in grade school, how to put laws through, and then we learn how various things impact on that as we get more mature. So how is it actually done?
Thank you very much. I think we'll have Levin Kirker deal with this question. Please, over here.
My name is Hadi Nikonjat. I live in Florida. I happen to be by accident here. My question actually is, I guess Mr. Levin can answer that. Since we're talking about the ethnicity or law situation in Turkey or Middle East, I think the Kurdish issue that could be resolved too is this. How come Europe, after 1,000 years of starting from crusade, 100 years of war, 30 years of war, French Revolution, World War I, World War II, and then suddenly they make a European Union? And the question is, anybody can answer it, is more common issue in Middle East can be a base to have some kind of Middle Eastern Union compared with the 1,000 years of killing by European, and after that we got European Union. It just, and then everything is by itself fall its place. The Kurdish, the Shia, the Sunni, or the Turk, or Persian, it just, the question is basically, why in academia or politician, I know it takes a time, maybe it's far-fetched, but we have to ask the question. The whole world, we have European Union, we have a union in South America, in Africa, in Asia, Far East, but somehow we never had a union, even talk about it, talk about Kurdish, Turkish, Fars, Persian. Okay. Why we can have that as some kind of base, maybe Turkey can do that. Is a good position, maybe promote that. I mean,
we got it. Thank you very much. So turn it over to Levin for the legal question, and then whoever is interested in answering the second question.
Well, changing Turkish laws is the way to legally achieve change. And the legislature, the Turkish Grand National Assembly, is constitutionally has the competence to change laws or make new laws, even change the constitution, and from my perspective, even make a totally new constitution, and they are now running after that. And of course, changing laws depends on people's demands and how these demands are reflected in the elected representatives of the people. So this is not very different from what you experience in the States or what we might see in other European countries. And when we discuss issues in Turkey, this is my answer to the gentleman here, I think, we usually forget that Turkey is a member of Council of Europe. So it's one of the 47 countries that is bound by the legal documents of the Council of Europe, prominent of which is the European Convention on Human Rights. And I think European Convention of Human Rights, when thought together with the twin international covenants of the UN on social, economic, and cultural rights and civil rights, they are the most developed instruments for protecting and enhancing and promoting human rights throughout the world, not only in Europe. So I think we have to stick to that. There is no other model, in my perspective, that is put in front of humanity or the people in the Middle East that we might aspire as an alternative form of protecting human rights vis-à-vis the European model. So I made my choice for the supranationalism of the European Union.
Thank you very much. And the last question goes to Emre.
Thank you. Michael, actually my question is to you and to the organizers. When this panel was designed originally, the panel, from the paperwork we understand, included a member of the AK Party who would probably provide some answers or insights to the speakers, which, I mean, I enjoyed and benefited, and I respect all the three speakers. Do you think not replacing that person, and I understand there was a cancellation, that the audience was done some injustice? Thank you.
So I'll happily take that question because I'm in a good position to be able to deflect it. But let me say the following. I think the panel has provided, I think, diversity of perspectives. And a party in power naturally, it's the same here, it's the same in Europe, it's the same in all other places, usually gets a little bit more flack than the parties in the opposition. That's not only legitimate, it's also necessary to keep them moving. So I think, I'm sure you'll report back to Ankara and Istanbul what you've heard here, and I'm sure that this will be a very productive way and outcome for the next conversation. We have to, I was told that we need to have a hard stop, so I'll want to thank the three of you for your presentations. There was a tremendous amount of capacity here. Thank you very much for being here.
Ladies and gentlemen, just before you depart, just a few logistical issues. We have a lunch on a first-come, first-served basis outside. We don't have enough lunch for everybody, as this is a free event. If to avoid a stampede, I would suggest lining up from this side and moving along the open buffet. If you could be back here at 1 p.m. to listen to Dr. Ibrahim Cullen, he'll be joining us via video phone on the big screen at 1 p.m.